record. All right, so we're gonna learn about materials, Cinema 4D. So let me make myself a new scene. If you don't have this thing right here, you can go to I think it's Window and Material Manager. So this thing right here is how you get your materials. And I believe you can take this and probably dock it somewhere else. Like I'm used to it being on the bottom over here. Okay, yeah. And if I go like this is the way I'm used to doing it with the older version. But you know, it's whatever you feel better with. And I have like I think a 4K monitor. So all right, but let's start with our material. So I'm just gonna double click down here, tap tap, and then we have our material right here. But let's get some geometry to put it on. So I'll get myself a plane, and then I'll scale this out a little bit. Now scale this out like this. Cool, all right? And let's get some objects. So I'll take a sphere, and on mouse button click, I'll put this sphere right here. Oh. So I have this, and control click, control click. So I got these 3 spheres, right? So I'll just name this, well, I'll just go through and show you how this works. So I'm gonna make my ground, and I'm just gonna double click again and make this other material. We could also click on this with this list, and then when you make your materials, you can like scroll. Is it working? Double click, double click. Maybe it needs to, yeah, I guess when I couldn't see it, it wasn't adding things. But then I can also click this over here and yeah, lay them out this way as well. So I'll just double click on this right here, and this will be my floor material. So just type in floor. And for this, I just want it to be gray. So I'm gonna go right here and just slide this, and we can see the preview right here. I believe you can change this to something else. Cube, okay, yeah. Rounded cube, so it can show like the fall off, plane, and you know, so there's a bunch of different shapes it can be, multiple objects. I don't like that. Cloth, interesting. So I guess it depends on what you're modeling and what you like. So, uh-oh. And this, I just left click. Yeah, I'm left clicking and rotating. So it's letting me see this at different angles, which is interesting. Gem, and let's do candle, right? But for now, let's just keep it on sphere. Now, how this works like this, right? So we have color, right? We have color channels. So if I take away the reflectance, this is just showing the base color, right? And when it has just the base color, it has no oomph in it, you know, no pizzazz. It's just flat. But let's take this and put it on the floor, and there we go. All right. In the viewport, it just gives a representation, but it's not necessarily what it'll look like in the render. It helps, but it's not 100% what it's gonna look like when we add the lights. So speaking of lights, we might as well add some just to see what's going on. But well, first let me go through this. So we have diffusion, not really, I don't really use that too much, but luminance. So what luminance will do is it'll make objects into lights, but we'll go into that in a moment. But the main two that are important are reflectance and color. So when I added reflectance, you see what happened? It gave it a reflection. Now, roughness is the main parameter here, which I'm not seeing right away, right? But I don't really like using this one so much. This is like the default specular or reflectance. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on remove, and then I go to add, and then I go to Beckman or GGX. Let's go to Beckman and look at what happens, right? So what it did was it put a layer on top of this. So here's the color, and then it has reflectance. And yeah, put this reflective material on top of the color. But if I go right here and I take this down, what it does is it takes, it's like a layer in Photoshop. So it lets the reflective properties kind of like it overrides everything. It's basically all the way on top. Now we're like taking it down, which lets us see the color. Because when you have a mirror like object, it has no diffuse. I mean, it has no color, right? A mirror is just like pure reflectance. So when things are like not as reflective, then you can see the object's true color, if that's making sense, right? So, and the main parameter here is roughness. So if I go to this roughness and I take it all the way down, now it's like super mirror, right? But if I add roughness, then we start to see, roughness. So it goes from like car paint or mirror to matte wall paint. But you can see how it looks right here, which isn't too nice. So you kind of have to find that sweet spot combined with this to get the look you want. So it all just depends on what you want. So me, I just want it to be a little bit reflective and gray. Then there's reflective strength. And what this does is it controls the specular. And what the specular is, it's like the whitest part of an object, right? So let's just go look at this real quick. So we type in specular and image. Let's see what's going on. So specular is this dot right here. Now this is like super reflective, right? Well, this is kind of reflective too, but depending on how much roughness it is, the specular spreads out more. So when things are very highly reflective, it's just like hits of light, like bam, like this, like super bright spots. And when things are rougher, the specular spreads out along the object. So specular reflection, specular right there. So when you hear specular, that's what that is. It's like the whitest, brightest part of the object. So when I take down the strength of that, it goes down. But when I up the strength, it comes up. Now look, it's not super, super white there. That's because the roughness is up. But if I take the roughness down, well, you take it down too much, you get something weird. But now if I up it, yeah. So it's basically a combination of these to get whatever you're looking for. The minor route. Oh, it's okay, Autumn. All right, see you later. So when you're looking at the when you're looking at objects, you just got to look at it and think, all right, is it super shiny or is it rough, and adjust it accordingly with these. And bump is like a material you can add in here, but we'll go into that later. But right now we have specular, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make myself some other objects. So let's go here. I mean, not other objects, other materials. So we have floor. I'll just double click on this and I'll do, I'll just name it shiny. So this is shiny, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my color and let's make this, let's make it red, right? Red is kind of matte. So I'll just go to my reflectance. And like I said, this is the default one. So I can go ahead and mess with this if I really wanted to, but I find better results with the other versions. So I'll just go to add. And let's do a GGX this time, right? So let's do shiny GGX, right? And then I'll go ahead and take this down. And I like that right there. Roughness, I can take that down some more. And then I'll just apply this to the object. And I can drag it on. Or I can just take this and I can put it on our object. Wrong one. So because of that, I'll just drag here. Cool, right? Now let's say I wanted to make this one like a medium kind of reflection. What I can do is I can copy this. And to do that, I just hold down Control and drag and click. and bam, it's right here, right? So we have this shiny GGX. It should have added a number on the end or something, but it didn't. So let's just do medium. And what I'll do is I'll just add some roughness. Just like this. I don't like that shine that much, so let me just adjust this a little bit. So it's just in the middle, and then combined with specular strength, I can just find my sweet spot. And this is just showing the pure reflection. So now I will take this and I'll put this medium right here. And then for this last one, control click. And then, oh, now I got the number on the end. All right. And then we have matte, right? So I'm going to take this matte and drag it onto here. All right. So we can see the viewport, what it's doing. It's giving me super shiny. It's giving me something in the middle, and then it's giving me matte. Actually, let me go to matte and make it a little bit rougher. Yeah. Now to test this, let's see what we got to do, right? So I'll just set this up like here, and I'll give it a render. And to give it a render, you go to, ooh, where's that at? I said new version, y'all. It is, oh, it's right over here. Okay. So if we click on this one right here, what it does is it'll render in our viewport. If we click on this second one, it gives us a render window, which is cool because it's going to give us a list of all our renders. And this last one are the settings. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to add an effect. So let's go to Ambient Occlusion, and we'll see what this does to our objects. So if I click on this, check this out, right? So we have this, which is no ambient occlusion, and this right here is ambient occlusion. And ambient occlusion, all it's doing is saying, all right, this object is this close to another object, so let's give this some darkness here. And if this was raised up, so if I take this right here, and let's say I raise it up a little bit, and then I do another render. And so to render, you can do Shift R. So let's do Shift R, let's try that. And then we're not seeing anything. But the closer I bring it to the surface, Shift R, it's there. And so we see how it's darker here, and this one's a little bit lighter. And that's the ambient occlusion. Now we need one other thing to make it look awesome, and that's to go to global illumination. Now if we click on this, let's see what we're doing now. Shift R. It's going to take a little bit longer because it's calculating the all the bounce light in the scene, but there is no light. So we're not seeing anything. So we need to add some lights. So let's add a light. Let's go to this right here, light. I'll just hold it down and I'll go to PBR light. Now I'm raising this up. And on one other thing, I love my view right now, right? I love my view. So I want to make a camera and keep it right here. So to do that, I'm going to click right here on camera. And now this view is my camera, right? Now, if I click on this, this means I'm inside of my camera when this thing's highlighted. If I click off of it, it just means that the camera's like locked right there. Now, if I want to look through my camera, I click on this, and now I'm in my camera. Out of my camera, in my camera. So think about this like a camera on a tripod. Now, here's the thing. If I'm in my camera right now, if I move it, my camera moves, right? So if I go over here and I'm looking at this, and then I click on this, oh, look, my camera moved. So if I want to keep my camera in the same place it is, you can lock the position of the camera. And to do that, you right click on it, you go to rigging tags, and you go to protection, right? So now it's locked. So that means that if I try to move this camera, it won't move. And if I get inside of my camera and I try to move, I'm locked in. All right. Now, if I don't want to be locked in, I just go to basic. Well, I don't think this works, right? Yeah. So if I just want to not move, I have to delete this tag and then I can move again. So if I delete it, now I'm free and clear, right? But I want to lock it and get out of it. So anyway, so let's go inside of our camera and let's do a quick render real quick. So we can see that light right there. It's doing something, but it's in a bad position. So let's get outside of our camera. Let's leave it on the tripod and let's mess with this light. So I click on this light and it has the dots. So I can make it bigger and move this out. And if you look at it, it's kind of going on both sides a little bit. Well, no, it's just one, but kind of looks like you move it on both. Now let me see something. Is there a way to look through the light? Thinking about other programs, so I'm not sure, but let me just see real quick. Camera. No. I feel like there should be a way, but for now, I'll just manually place it. So I'm using all my controls. I'm rotating, looking at it. So we have this right here, right? And remember, W moves between world space. So I can move it like this and object space. So let's get back inside of our camera. Let's give ourselves a render. Now we're seeing, right, what's happening. Now, if I want to up the intensity, I just click on the light and we have intensity right here. So I can name it, I can just put do 300. You can see it brightening up. Click on this. All right, cool, cool. Now something else, right? This is on standard render, standard right here, but let's change it to physical. Let's see if there's a difference. So I'll close this and I'll click on this again. And so physical is a bit cleaner. So this is the one we want. And we can tell it's cleaner if you look at it, even though this light is overblown, that's physical. I mean, that's standard and this physical. So it's already looking a little bit better. All right, 300 might be a lot. So let's just do 120. Just give it one more render and I'm gonna add in another light. Okay, so we see what's doing, right? This is a nice little soft light. And you just gotta think about it like it's real life, right? So let me get out of here and let's make another one. So I'm just gonna control click. Well, actually, we're gonna do something that's called 3-point lighting, right? And that's when you have a key light, a rim light, and a fill light. So if I go like this, your key light is like your main light. So I'll go like that. And this will be like my strongest light. Just a little bit behind the camera. And like I said, let's get inside of our camera. Let's see what we're looking at. Okay, it's hidden nice and direct. So that's our key. Matter of fact, let's just make it a little bit stronger, just a touch. 150 and do it again. All right. Not too bad, not too bad. All right. Those reflections look kind of weird, but we'll adjust that in a moment. Now let's get out of here. And now let's make a fill light. So right now it's hitting everything from this angle, right? Let's move it a little bit over. So fill light will hit things from the side. So I'll just control click, make another light, rotate it. Put it like right here, all right? So this is our fill. And so fill usually comes in from the side. and I won't make it as strong. But let's look through the camera first. So look, without key light, I can even name it key, key, key fill, right? And then we'll just take this fill light right here, and so it's key, and let's just take our fill and let's drag this down to 100, so it's not as strong. So a little bit nicer, right? Cool, we're getting there. So we're seeing the reflections, lighting's looking a little bit better. So let's go through. Look, whack. I like doing this. It's like, oh, horrible. It sucks. It's disgusting. Oh, horrible. Ooh, ooh, nice. Right. So now let's do a what you call it? A rim light, right? So key, fill, and rim. And what rim is, it's like the lighting on the back. So let's just click and drag. Take this over here and like this. It's like a little bit like overhead, sort of. And if we look at this, it's like point it down on our objects. It's kind of like how you want it to be. And see what this is looking like. And it's going to give us different results. So if it's like here, matter of fact, let's just see what it looks like. I'm sure it's going to look bad. Maybe not that bad. Looks bad. So I'm going to mouse button click. I'll just go into this view over here and we'll drag this out some more. We'll go right here and let's do another render. So you see it's closer. So it's working like a real light. Now the thing is we can see this light, right? Other ones we can't see, so it doesn't matter. But if we don't want to see this, we click on this. Well, let me name it rim. And then I'll go to where it says show illumination. I'll check this off. And let's do, I'll click right here in this viewport. Let's do another render. Now we don't see it. Oh no, we do still see it. So that wasn't right. Visibility, is this it? No, I just need to go through and find it. General. No, details. Show and render. This might be it. Let me see. Okay, so that was it. Show and render will take this off. So now we're seeing this. But now let's just take it a little bit more. Click right here one time. So we're looking through this view because I think it'll render through this view if I do that. But let's see. I could be wrong. Oh no, it's still looking through the camera. Nice. All right. So look, you see our progress, right? So now it's looking a bit, it's blown out, but it's starting to look natural. But this looks good, but these materials are looking not too good. So let's adjust these materials now.